So just before you go, I just need to ask you one thing. Have you recorded me at all today?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Is there any reason why you haven't notified me that you've recorded me?
The opening salvo hits immediately. An officer demands to know if he's been recorded, then pivots to operator ID requirements. Watch how the auditor doesn't just refuse. He weaponizes Article 8 privacy rights and turns every question back on the officer. This isn't passive resistance, it's active legal warfare. The cop reveals his hand early. He has no grounds for inspection, but tries to manufacture them through intimidation. The real tension? Neither side blinks. We're witnessing the foundation of a confrontation where knowledge, not authority, will determine the winner. The officer's frustration becomes palpable as his legal justifications crumble in real time.
I can report you for the offence, so for the question of prosecution to be considered, that you don't have an operator's ID.
But what would be your reasonable solution? What would you present to the CPS of your decision to pass it on to them? What would you present?
To pass on to them is that you failed to produce one.
Right, okay.
Okay.
But I don't have to.
You failed to give me any means to verify whether you have one.
But that's not enough for reasonable grounds. That's just me asserting my human right, Article 8. That's all it is. That's not enough to assert reasonable grounds, Inspector.
Article 8 only applies, right, it can be infringed when you're committing an offence.
But you would have to have reason. But you cannot use my standing up for Article 8 and my refusal to give you my details as grounds.
Which I'm not doing.
No, but if you were asking for my operator's ID, to check my operator's ID, you would also need my name.
Because I'm not asking you, because I have no power to require you. Okay? So we're going around in a bit of a circle.
No, because you're not making sense,
No,
Inspector.
I am making perfect sense. Well, I'm making perfect sense to myself.
Well, then you need to go back to verbal reasoning.
What we're doing here is we're going around in houses. You are exercising your rights. You are allowed to fly a drone. Absolutely allowed to fly a drone. If it has a camper, you must have an operator ID.
Yep.
If you don't have an operator ID, you commit an offence. Okay?
Correct.
Period.
Correct.
Okay?
Your reasonable suspicion is where it's getting messy.
I understand what you are saying.
Yeah.
Well, you can't use the fact that I am declining to produce something I don't have to produce to you as your reasonable grounds to suspect. I absolutely understand that.
Yeah.
Totally understand that.
So if I take it back up and that's still your grounds.
And I 100% respect your rights to a private life without intrusion from the state. I appreciate them. Okay, I don't want to be stopped and interfered with by the police.
Exactly.
Okay, so I totally understand that. However, there will be circumstances where if you are recording potentially confidential information...
If it's confidential information, it should not be visible.
Potentially, it's only visible if you're flying a drone over the back of a police station.
Still, well, not really.
Okay.
But it's a legal activity, so you still need to make sure. You know drones are a thing. You know there are YouTubers that do come and do this, so you need to take those steps to make sure that those areas are
there could
not
be somebody.
containing.
There could be somebody who is working at a desk with information in front of them, and you fly over the thing and you film it. Okay.
I'm not looking in your windows.
Yeah, but that's no. Well, how do I know that?
Well, you don't. But even if I was,
because I don't know you from Adam, sir.
No, you don't.
Okay?
But then get
so
windows.
I don't know that whatsoever.
Get into windows, or what do you call them, frosted glass and things like that.
But we don't need to have that because
there's
a right.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is that part of your building or is that a house?
Debate gets surgical. The officer floats the confidential information through Windows argument, and the auditor demolishes it with a simple telescope analogy. The same logic applies, yet police don't arrest bird watchers. Notice how the officer concedes a point but immediately pivots to data protection laws. Try a new angle. This is where we see the auditor's preparation shine. He doesn't just know drone law. He understands data law, privacy law, and how they intersect. The officer's hostile reconnaissance seed gets planted here, but it's already dying on the vine. He's throwing legal spaghetti against the wall, and nothing sticks. The power shift is subtle but unmistakable.
Or is it to say whoever stood at that top window? Okay, somebody stood at that top window up there, right? And they had a telescope or binoculars, ultra zoom DSLR lens, whatever. They could do exactly the same thing. So actually, depending on where your windows are and depending on what your surroundings are, you should have frosted glass and you should be taking that data protection more seriously.
You're probably quite correct. In fact, somebody stood there.
Yeah.
Can actually do that.
Yeah.
Okay. But you must also remember data protection applies to data that can identify a person.
It's the obligation of yourself to make sure that's secure. There might not be any
information which can identify a person.
Yeah. So then your argument about the drone is invalid then, isn't it?
No, it's not.
It's either that situation which is the same as my drone or it's not.
You raised this point earlier yourself about your right under the GDPR about the body camera. Okay, you're not identifiable on that body camera because you're not giving any details.
No, but my face,
but your
face
face
is
is.
enough. Yeah, my
But
face
you-
is
but you
enough
personally-
to identify me as a living individual, which is what counts as personal and
You
private data under
personally are only
GDPR.
identifiable if someone recognises that image, which won't be shared with anybody because it's on a secure server.
Okay.
Okay. So, and if you were to make a request for information held about you, that information would not be retrievable because we wouldn't be able to search for an image of you on our system.
Well, you can, because I've made subject matter requests and got body cam footage myself without giving details at the time as well, so I
But
can
possibly
still
about
get
the
that.
time and place. Okay,
Yeah,
if you give time and
exactly,
location,
exactly.
Okay, then that's fine. You give time and location, then yes, the information would be retrievable.
Yeah.
But if you just said, "I'm actually Adam Smith, and I want video footage that you've got of me," we wouldn't be able to give it to you because the system doesn't allow us to do
No,
that.
you got to give other circumstances,
Okay?
absolutely.
But there are always circumstances. Okay.
But I still don't get what you're getting with the GDPR and the drone, because like I said, if it's visible from the drone, it's visible
But
from that window,
point
and that
being
responsibility is on you to make that
My point and my
secure.
concern being is, you fly a drone over the back of a police station, and you fly a drone looking into the windows of a police station, what operational or what purpose might you be doing that for?
Again,
Okay?
and that's
Now you can have,
fact,
a
isn't it?
hobby.
Yeah.
But there's also a concern that could be being used as hostile reconnaissance.
Okay.
I'm not suggesting in these circumstances it is, but it could be, in which case you could be detained for the purposes of a search under the
Section 43
Terrorism
and all
Act.
that.
Here comes a big gun. Hostile reconnaissance. The officer suggests terrorism, but the auditor pulls out the National Police Chief's council memo and checks it instantly. This is the moment the fight leaves the first officer. He retreats from demands to polite requests, admitting he can't stop the flight. Watch his body language shift. The authoritative posture deflates into concession. He's now asking, not telling. This is crucial. When police realize you're citing their own policies back to them, their entire approach changes. The encounter should end here, but the auditor's about to flip the entire dynamic. The first wave is defeated, but they're about to be audited themselves.
So,
And again,
not really. I
not-
mean,
not doing that, because
Yeah,
it- no,
it's
because-
not applicable.
Says
Like,
you.
it's not though, is it? Because
Says you.
So the memo from the National
But
Police Chiefs Council.
Have I detained you for the purpose of
No,
a
you
search?
haven't. But
So again,
no.
So
Okay,
we're
okay,
talking
you keep talking,
semantics.
you're not letting me get a
we're
response
talking-
to you at
We're
all.
talking semantics.
Yeah, because if you're going to bring
'Cause
something
I'm
up,
saying
at
things
least
like-
allow a retort
I'm trying
to
to
it.
say things that you might find yourself in a situation.
I found
You're not
myself in that situation. I've been to
Okay?
certain things,
So
and I'm
therefore,
suing you guys
we end
for
up
it.
going around with our full
Because it's
circle.
not a situation where it's applicable. Hostile reconnaissance, by its very nature, is covert, and that is from the National Police Chiefs Council in their memo circulated to every police station this time last year.
But that is not in every single circumstance, okay? Because quite frankly, the best way of being, well, I'm going to say invisible, is to be perfectly visible.
So, yeah, double bluffing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, and that's the best way. Make yourself obvious,
But
and no one thinks you're doing anything wrong.
If I wanted to do hostile reconnaissance on here, I would
asking
probably
what-
get
I'm not
access
asking
to
what
that
you want
building.
to do.
I would get access
Sir,
to
I'm
that
not
building.
asking what you want
You know
to
what I
do.
mean? Exactly. So
Exactly.
people wouldn't
Which
do
is
stand
why-
here doing it. They would,
which is why
because you would
you haven't
never
been
even see
detained for the
somebody
purpose
doing
of a
it.
search.
You would never even see
But
somebody
again,
doing it.
was I
So flying, yeah, but no.
was
So
I
flying a
necessarily
drone.
referring to you flying a drone over this police station?
Yes. Well, you said over a police station.
Over a police station, yes.
But all police stations
So
in
I'm
London
trying
have
to
other
explain
vantage
the
points that I've been to
circumstances
anyway.
that you may find yourself addressed or facing in a different situation.
Well, I'm sorry, but the
Okay?
National Police Council disagree with you on
Well,
this.
that may well be the case, okay? But not every set of circumstances, not every memo that's sent
identical.
out
No.
is applicable to every scenario. And every scenario will always have nuances and edges around,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Because not one size fits all. So you're here, you want to fly your drone. You carry on and you fly your drone.
Cool.
Okay? If that drone appears to be over 250 grams, or we can see it and we have a reason to think you might be committing an offence, then we will reassess and we'll have this conversation again a short while later. Okay?
Okay. There's not going to be any offences committed.
Well, that's fine. But I would
As I
ask
said,
you,
your colleagues can confirm it.
I
it was under
would ask
250
you,
gram.
I would ask you, please not to fly it over the police station, because it does cause concern. However, I can't stop
No.
you.
Okay, just for future reference, if a drone is directly over your police station, the chances are the camera is not pointing at your police station, okay?
No, I understand that, because our helicopter goes there and it's filming about a mile away over
Exactly.
there. I understand that.
So, like, not always, if you see a drone near or over your police station.
Yeah.
When I started, I was actually filming this intersection.
Plot twist. The hunter becomes a hunted. As the first crew prepares to leave, the auditor stops them dead with a body camera violation. Suddenly, he's demanding their compliance with data laws. The officer's reaction is fascinating. Instead of pushing back, He accepts the critique and promises to circulate it. This is almost unheard of. The power dynamic completely reverses in under 3 minutes. We see a government agent admitting fault to a citizen. He just tried to intimidate. The auditor isn't just defending his rights. He's enforcing the law on the enforcers. This moment proves that knowledge isn't just power, it's authority. The officer leaves educated, not victorious.
Some shots because I was turning around to get over there to get the decision. Yeah, I probably got some footage of your yard.
I absolutely understand that. And
sometimes I do fly over police stations to get footage of their cars.
People fly drones. That's fine. Okay, they're allowed. I know there's been recent changes in the legislation to introduce this operator's ID. Is it flying ID you need as well?
Fly ID, sorry.
Fly ID and operator's ID.
The flyer ID is only if your drone's over 250.
Over 250.
Yes.
I understand that. It's all recent. It's all new. And I'm to be honest with you, I'm getting old. It's hard to keep up with a lot of the changes. All right. But I would ask you not to, but I can't stop you. Okay, and that's just a polite request.
Okay,
it's a polite conversation. All right.
Okay,
that's what it is.
So before we go, so obviously you heard me say about the body worn cameras. Please have a conversation with all 3 of your PCs about the severity of that, because it is something that we are quite hot on. Obviously, it is our right to know that you're holding data about us. You do have an obligation to let us know at the first most practical opportunity.
Well, you would explain that to the officers who the grandstand.
Okay. But yeah, like hearing it from me or whatever. But you need to make sure that all of your constables are aware of this, because it's not just yourself and your colleagues. It's 99% of the time when I interact with constables in London, and they never say anything.
Unfortunately for them, it's become second nature just turning it on.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to say it's right. I'm going to say it happens. Okay. And you're right. You should be made aware, because quite frankly, it is your right to know that information is being captured and recorded about you. Nothing we do is covert, which is why the camera flash is red and it's highlighted yellow.
A red flashing could be standby.
I appreciate it that you know what that means,
but not everybody's going to know what a red flashing light.
I fully understand that, and that's something I'll take on board now, feed back in, and I'll get circulated across to everybody.
I appreciate that.
But again, equally, I would ask that you don't fly it over the police station. Okay. But it's a polite request.
Okay. And I'll ask that again. You train your PCs on how to interact, and when a member of the public asserts that they don't want to engage, they do their investigation without them further accosting. Okay.
Well, I don't know what happened because before I came
or you can review the body cam footage, unless it's a situation where they genuinely believe an offence is being committed and they're about to detain or search. If a member of the public doesn't want to interact with you, we're under no obligation to do so, and we don't deserve to be harassed once we told you no.
You're allowed to walk away.
Exactly. I'm allowed to walk away, but obviously I'm busy flying and flying. I kept getting distracted and interrupted.
No one says you need to talk to us.
A new cruiser, a new attitude, and instantly the temperature drops. This officer ditches a legal pretense and goes straight for bizarre analogies, comparing legal drone flight to smoking a bowl of crack outside a police station. It's not just aggressive, it's legally nonsensical. The auditor recognizes this isn't a conversation. It's a fishing expedition. His response? Immediate silence. He invokes his right to shut down, refusing to provide ammunition. This is self-defense at its smartest. The crack analogy reveals the officer has no case, so he resorts to false equivalence. The auditor's silence is deafening. It forces the officer to either articulate a crime or step aside. He can't do either.
Yeah, but there's nothing to stop the officer continuously speaking to you.
Well, it's kind of harassment, really, isn't it? Once you've been told you don't want to be spoken to.
It doesn't fall under the banner of Section of Harassment Act.
Does it not? Why not?
Because it's not a continued course of conduct. It is them investigating the circumstances, and you declining to engage doesn't stop them investigating the circumstance. Okay, as simple as that. It would fall under harassment if they did it to you every single day when you were here, and I came and had those same conversations, and we knew the circumstances. We'd walk along, the same as yesterday. Okay, no worries. See you later, Mr. Smith, and on we go. Okay. But anyway, we'll leave it there. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, sure. I don't do handshakes.
You don't do handshakes?
No.
No worries at all.
No worries.
All right, you have a nice evening.
You too.
Take care.
So what I'm going to do now is get the drone back up and do a quick pass over, just to prove the point that I can, and then I think that wraps me up for the day, guys. Gonna head on home. But yeah, I'll be right back with you while I get this drone set up.
This is the legal cliffhanger. The auditor asks the one question that determines everything. Am I detained? The officer's refusal to answer yes or no is telling. He's in a gray area of his own making. If he says no, the auditor leaves. If he says yes, he needs grounds he doesn't have. So he obfuscates, tries to intimidate with, "I'll find you later" threats. This is psychological warfare. But the auditor doesn't take the bait. He asks 3 times, same question, laser focused. Every second of hesitation is evidence the officer knows he's overreached. This is the moment where authority meets accountability, and authority blinks. The timeline drags because the officer is stalling for time he doesn't have.
What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm a police officer. Just calling you in regards to in regards to the detention up there.
Phone number?
Mine's 1759. 1759.
1759.
You leave it to him, you didn't tell him on that?
I'm not here to answer any questions.
Well, there's certain offences around drones when you're in the flight path.
The denouement arrives. The officer finally admits there's no offense, no restriction, no justification for stop. The house of cards collapses. But the auditor doesn't just walk away. He drives his point home one final time about body camera policies, citing inspector-level confirmation. This isn't a win. It's a complete victory lap. The police are now in full retreat, offering data access and making concessions. Notice how quickly they want to disengage once they realize they're being documented as much as they're documenting. The auditor leaves having taught law enforcement a lesson. They'll circulate across their station. That's impact. If you found this breakdown valuable, smash that like button. Subscribe for more real-time legal analysis and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next time we hold power accountable. We'll see you in the next video.
So you just wait in here, I'll try and get something sorted.
I'm going to pack up and go.
Okay, well, are you going to pack up and leave, are you?
Pardon?
Are you leaving, are you?
Well, that was my plan, yeah, unless you're going to stop me.
Well, we can find out. Often, the only thing that I would advise you is, obviously, because Heathrow's quite close to you.
I'm not in the flight restricted zone, mate.
If you're not perfect, if you know about it, I can obviously get some.
I wouldn't fly next to a police station and break the law, would I? That would be rather stupid.
Well, you never know, do you know what I mean? I don't know who you are, you don't know who I am. So that's what I'm speaking
That's
to
like
in
coming here
regards
and fucking smoking a bowl of crack right out front of the gate, innit? Like, come on. Have a
to. Are
brain.
you just about to leave, are you? Is
Well.
it just a bit of auditing that you're doing? What is it?
I'm not answering your questions. I told you
Okay,
that.
So I'll presume it is, because...
Well, no, that's because I'm a member of the public who has rights. That's why I'm not.
Yeah, but I'm not asking about that. I'm just asking in regards to what you're doing. The same way you asked from that.
Yeah, but the more questions I answer of yours, the more likely I am to incriminate myself, aren't I?
No, not really.
Yes, that's why it's. That's why.
And you say you're not in your flight path and arrested. I don't necessarily what the issue would be. I'm just
Okay,
thinking to you,
because
okay?
I don't want to answer your questions.
Okay,
I'm going
that's
to make that
fine.
very clear,
Okay.
okay? And I'm just going to remain silent from now on, and I'm not going to answer questions. You do what you got to do.
Yeah, if you just wait 2 seconds, we're just going to speak with...
Are you detaining me? What? Which way? Are you detaining me at all? Because I need to know.
Ben.
Okay. I'm going to ask you one third and final time. Are you detaining me?
At the moment, we're just going to do some checks to find
Okay,
out.
but I need to know, because if not, I'm not going to stick around.
Well, at this moment in time, I need to check if it is an offence
Okay.
in terms of where you are in
Okay.
order to detain you, as you understand.
Okay.
At this
Am I
moment-
being detained? That's all I need.
If you were to leave at this moment in time, I've got my body worn on. which obviously captures who you are. If I need to establish some details from you, I'm sure I'll be able to. So if
You're not answering my question. Am I detained? That's a yes or no question.
If you want to leave, you can leave. I think we're just going to figure out a few
Okay.
things, and obviously
sorry, the Whiskey Alpha 1759. I'm not sure what the camera picked up. And your colleague?
I explained it. He
No, his shoulder number?
Yeah, you can speak to him when he comes
Well,
over.
he can't because I need to go, but I need to know who's stopped and accosted me.
Well, I don't know what his details are.
You ride with him all day, you don't know his details.
No, we change
I don't
often
believe
every
that.
day.
So you've been riding with him and you don't know who he is.
Well, we change every day. I know he's...
That's right, I'll just go find out myself. So I'm just getting your collar number. So Whiskey Alpha 1557.
You alright then?
Lovely. Cheers.
Yeah, all is well. We've spoken to our colleague who obviously knows a lot about drones in certain area, flight paths and stuff like that. This isn't covered in it. The only reason why we asked is obviously if it is, it would be an offence. But where you are now, it's not. Obviously, you know the issues about security of the buildings. We're obviously always conscious, which is why we come and speak to you to ascertain what your intentions are. If you're not willing to speak to me, I understand that. Obviously, we can write a report to say the information that we've received today, you're not willing to speak to us. We can always put a report on and we can establish any issues if we need to. All right? But
Have the MPS made like a order to remove the blue line flags? So I don't see it very often anymore. Or is that a personal choice?
Right,
Okay.
good to go.
So just before you go, I just need to ask you one thing. Have you recorded me at all today?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Is there any reason why you haven't notified me that you've recorded me?
Sorry?
Is there any reason you haven't notified me that you've recorded me?
No, I've told you, same way you're recording me, I can record in public.
You
so-
can. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying, is there any reason you didn't notify me that you did? That you
No,
are?
there's no specific reasons you weren't willing to engage with me.
Under your policies and procedures, you do have to. I've already spoken to your inspector today, and he's already confirmed that I'm correct on that. Okay, it's literally from our station, and I've told him that it is a salient point that he needs to speak to every single one of you about this issue, right? Because this is now you're the fourth and fifth constables that have come out and not notified me from this station.
Okay.
So, you know, it is an issue. You've captured data about me, okay, and as an organisation, I have the right, as an organisation, a government organisation, the police is a government organisation, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right, I have the right to access data that you hold about me. If you haven't told me that you're capturing this data, I don't know it's there to access.
Obviously, you're entitled, you can do a copy of the data protection form and you can request my body worn footage today if you wish.
How long is that left on your system for?
Well, probably be 30 days if I don't save it. However, I've not had any real interactions with you in terms of criminal investigations.
Okay. So I was just explaining to your colleague, obviously, when you approached, neither of you notified me that your body camera was turned on. You know, it's unless you're going hands-on in a situation and you're there to physically detain and arrest somebody off the bat, there's no reason that the first most practicable opportunity can't be on your approach of good afternoon, just to let you know you're being recorded, and then proceed with your questioning. I've already spoken to your inspector from this station about it. He agrees. He says it's not acceptable. I have made him aware that it is happening, and to make sure that he speaks to all the PCs about it. Obviously, it's our data that you're handling. We need to know that you've got it, so we know that we can request it. If you don't tell us, then how am I meant to know?
So we're going to carry on about our duty.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, no worries.
You take care of yourself.
Have a good evening.
Have you got your belongings?
Pardon?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
All right, so take care of yourself.
You too. So literally just as the battery was dying on the drone anyway, and I was coming down, look at this cop car pull up. But to be honest, that is how it should be done to a degree. You know, they phoned the right person and checked, which is fine. What I didn't like about the interaction is the amount of times I had to ask that PC whether or not I was being detained. You know, that should be a very simple yes or no question. it took him too long really to let me know. But yeah, beyond that, this has been Acton Town Police Station. My first experience of flying in the dark. It's actually quite a bit easier than flying in the light because you can see the guide light from the drone. So it's much easier to keep track of in the sky. You don't have any sun glaring in your eyes or anything like that. So yeah, it's actually quite good, a lot easier. So yeah, we're going to wrap up there, guys, and until the next one, stay safe.